guys, it's Zach Wallace with Realty Austin, and I wanted to start a video series where I teach you guys how to claim, convert, and interact in general, come ahead, with online leads. I'm doing this for a couple reasons. Number one, I want to get better on camera, so it's going to give me a really good opportunity to get in front of you guys and learn some things myself. But also I've had a lot of agents contacting me about how I operate. And I really want to see agents succeed and do better and get better at working these leads. And I realized I don't have the time to sit down with everybody. However, if I was able to make a series of videos and pass those off to either new agents or agents that want help in general, that takes very little time. So it's a win-win. Number one, the only thing I wanted to talk about today was my follow-up process after I claimed the lead. You might see my beautiful wife Kelly and two little golden retriever pups around here somewhere. So my follow-up process. I like to claim leads prior to 8 a.m. every morning for two reasons. Number one, before 8 a.m. I can't call anybody. And if I'm not calling people, I'm not making money. So I want to do all of my admin tasks prior to 8 a.m. every single morning. It gives me a big jump on the day. But the other part about it is the early bird, I believe, gets the worm. So if I'm up before every other agent in Realty Austin claiming what I consider to be the good leads, that's going to give me a little leg up. Sometimes you don't have to be the best agent out there. You just got to be a little bit better than your competition. And I think that's a good example of that. So after I claim the lead, there's a few time frame windows that are really important that we touch people in. This is the 8 to 9 window in the morning. Come on, Kelly. So 8 to 9 a.m. Noon to 1 is a valuable time frame because people are at lunch. After 4, so between the hours of say 4 and 7. And then another right before bed between 8 to 9 p.m. Now, if I'm claiming these leads prior to 8 a.m., I'm not going to call them at 8 a.m. that same day. The reason being is, let's say they're a night owl, they're claiming or they're clicking on listings at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't want to be that jerk that calls them up first thing in the morning to wake those leads up. So follow-up process is pretty easy. I claim these leads prior to 8 a.m. And my very first contact is between the hours of noon and 1. So I'm hoping to hit that lead while they are on their lunch break. We'll go into scripts and dialogues later, but again, first call is between noon and 1. If they don't answer, which probably 2/3 of them won't, then I'm not going to leave them a voicemail. I'm not going to shoot them a text for the simple fact that I'm hoping they're going to give me a call back later on in their lunch break, later on in the day. I want to generate that opportunity for a call back. The second call I'm going to make is on the same day between the hours of 4 and 7 p.m. And if they don't answer here, now I'm going to leave a voicemail, and I'm also going to shoot a text. Something that's spicy, that catches their attention, which again, I'll go on in more in depth on those things later. And then the final thing I'm going to do right before I go to bed is I'm going to shoot them an email. And it's really important to have as much time lapse in between all these tasks as possible, meaning my second call at 4 p.m., I don't want to send a text immediately after I hang up. If I can make a few other calls and then send a text 5 minutes later, it feels more authentic, like someone's not just a quick text at the end of the phone call. So to recap, I'm going to call them at noon to 1. They're not going to answer. I'm going to call them between 4 and 7. I'm going to leave them a voicemail and a text this time. And then at 8 or 9 o'clock at night, I'm going to shoot them the email. Now, there's one time slot left that's very important. There's that 8 to 9 a.m. time frame, which, again, I think it's kind of jerkish calling somebody that early. But if I've called them in all of these hot time frames prior, they've given me no choice if they haven't responded. So day 2, and this is the day after I claim the lead, I'm going to call them again between 8 to 9 o'clock in the morning. On this attempt, I may or may not leave a voicemail or text. No right or wrong way to do things there. And then going forward, every other day or every few days, I'll follow up with an additional phone call and an additional text at the end of the day, an additional email. So the follow-ups are important, whether we're waiting a couple days or the next day or maybe a week to call someone back if we haven't gotten in contact with them. However, I'm a firm believer that during that first 24-hour window, maybe 48-hour window, that's when all the important touches happen. the 12 to 1, the after 4, the 8 p.m., the 8 a.m., those things, if we work those things in right now, I guarantee you're going to talk to more leads, which means you're going to claim more leads. And then in terms of long term, what if it's the 4th or the 5th or the 6th attempt? When should we call people? The answer here is it doesn't matter. Call them at 10 a.m., call them at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, call them on Saturdays, call them on Sundays. The reason being is because we've attempted to hit them in all of the high volume timeframes and they haven't answered. So now the only way we're gonna have a conversation with that person is if we get lucky. So if it's past the 4th or 5th attempt, the only thing we can do is call more and call smarter if we can. Again, my name is Zach Wallace. I hope this short video helped. I'm going to have a couple more to follow up over the next week or so, and I'd really appreciate any feedback. Talk to you guys soon.